I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is February 5th, Thursday, 2026. Hope you had a good day today. So what did we talk about yesterday? As you know, I don't just be making shit up. Fire, fire, fire. I specifically said about this area, talked about this gap right here. And then the inefficiency in the pink, that's what's remaining, right? And I also talked about being bearish. I also talked about it flowing, rolling over. I also talked about even a couple days ago, the structure of coming down, whatever. And then possibly, this was the 5-year, by the way, but, maybe flowing up for the 10th, by the 10th, and then pushing up. But, at the same time, we have to be flexible during the new data that occurs or whatever, right? So, I mean, hey, this is exactly what we did. In this case, we, lower low, lower high structure. When I talked about this area here in, where's last year? I'm going to, again, try to make this short, but I said we were kind of like right here, right? Where we took out the lows here, and then it was a lower low, and then we were going to push up for a lower high, and then roll over, right? You see this, right? So what does that look like? Oh, shit. Doesn't that look like very similar to what we got going on now? How can I make that up, right? So anyways, I have that dragged out here. I have it quadded here, and then I have the remaining inefficiency. All right, so I'm literally telling you the day before. This is why, if you're new, don't need to show you my trades. I'm literally telling you the day before, right? So in most cases I do. And then I changed that projection. We already hit that 3.5 to 4 if you watched yesterday's video, but I'm now using the 4 hours, this 4 hour here, just the bodies here. I could use the whole swing, but I mean, for now I'm just using the bodies. It's more of a refined scenario, and -1's here, so anything below that would be the next target. On the higher time frame, we also have that low right there. When we shot down and bought right back up, they might even test that area just because of the fact that people made decisions on buying once it went above that low when they bought here. Number 2, it doesn't have a body. Notice there's no body there on the bullish side. You only see it on the bearish side. So in that case, it's offering just only sell side. So buy side, you want a body here. That's why we're going to stay lower today even. Another reason of more sells for today, and everything popping up is a lower high, and that's just experience. Now you're going to say, well, what about that and that? Well, in due time. This is turning into a suspension block, but at the same time, we'll see if we run up in there. As of now, this is just what we're talking about. We also came down to this, and this whole range that we're still stuck in, the bottom 25%, right? So we are almost knocked that shit yesterday even. And then now we're in this lower quadrant. If you divide that into quadrants, into eighths, you'll see that we might hit that. Anyways, the point is, and then we look on the weekly. If you look on the weekly here, you'll see that we just took out that weekly candle. So that weekly candle, and you can see that's the low of that inefficiency. I'm sorry, yeah, of the remaining inefficiency, because that is a Monday, right? So that was the new week. So we tagged that guy. And what's below that right here? With the open of this weekly wick, right? So even when we were, and you want to use these wicks, there's just so much to teach someone. There's no way to just do it all in a 5-minute video or even an hour video, but I'm just going to do as much as I can talking, and hopefully you pause and you check what I'm telling you. But this wick right here, if you look at 50% of it balling, just eyeballing it, and you didn't use anything here, that in itself was an understanding of, okay, well, it's weaker if it doesn't continue, right? So you can quad that and take a look at that. It's overkill for me because obviously in this daily chart, I'm using this bullish inversion, as we discussed when we rolled over right there. Anyways, and the point of me saying that is that now you're going to be doing the same thing with this wick when we roll into it. Anyway, let's move forward because that's not important. Here, when we sold off and we came up here, well, we made some. We came down, we closed up here, and then that was we were already we were already creating the lower high. And then, we had a second day of closure below the previous days. So, in my opinion, we're turning bearish. So I'm not fighting it. And the old me would have been like, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. It's like, dude, you're not in the business of catching tops and bottoms. We're really not. So in this case, it's like, when you understand that liquidity was sitting here, it's like you don't fight it. You're just, matter of fact, you flip the other side and you say, well, I have missed these opportunities for so many years and I've completely did the wrong thing that I'm supposed to do. And you turn around and say, it was easy. They turned around and they attacked that liquidity. I can't believe it. That's what makes me not make those same mistakes in the following years of my experience. Because I don't fight it. And I know that we are going for that liquidity. And you just keep it that simple. That's why I am telling you this conversation, with this. It definitely looks more like this. But hey, as of now, I don't know and don't care. But just follow the understanding. So anyways, we rolled over. Okay. So I'm going to make this fucking thing long. I don't want to make this long. This is fire here. So take a look. Again, lower highs here. And we're breaking down. We break down right there. All right. And this is just two drives. So I'm going to draw the structure because the structure is important. Just don't worry about the candles real quick. Just don't worry about the fucking candles, man. I'll do it on the 15-minute. Obviously. It's easier to see. So these one drive and then a second one when we rated at 930. It's all part of the making that lower low. We were already underneath the previous day's low, which is in structure wise the last lower low, lower high, and then we were creating the lower lows. So I'm just gonna do it like this, and then now that we've made a lower low. Okay, I'm going to pop over here real quick. This is not I didn't know you could even do that. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Now I'm in the 1 minute chart. When we break above this swing high right here, that's not a shift in structure. We're looking at, that's where people might get confused and they're constantly maybe trying to buy this. I don't know if you're doing that. You could do that. I don't know. But the point is that this is just a lower low. These drives here, it's just a lower low. Now that's done. It's going to push back up for a lower high. Where is that? Because it wants to eat inside. Oh, this is nice. This is new. You should never be able to do this. I just literally switched to the next screen. It's awesome. In this 15-minute, look at the 15-minute here. That's a breakout. While I'm doing this, look at the 15-minute. It's a breakout area. Look at they're fucking doing it at the end of the day. Oh my goodness. So this is a breakout area from here. See this guy right here? That's a breakout area here. And right here I'm on the 15-minute to the bottom left. That's in balance, and there's liquidity on the 1 minute. So liquidity here, breakout area there, and imbalance there. There's also, right there. This little pocket, okay? So back over here. And that's your lower high. Where is it refined to? I refined it to a 5 minute. That's not a 1 minute, it's a 5 minute. And then you have the opening range gap here, and then we are pushing up. That's 50%. I even have the measurement of this down at 930, this little push down that we broke through. I have it measured. You see that? The -1. There's not a lot of shit here, so just don't freak out. -1 to 0. I'm measuring that whole range. We break it, and there's 1 and 1.5. If it is bearish and it's going to not really go higher and it's really strong as far as the range not going too high, the 1 and 1.5 is going to stop it. What do we have in there? We have that this is a 5 minute. I did not label it, but there's a 5 minute. Also, look at the liquidity here. I'm on the 1 minute. So there's liquidity, there's imbalance, and then there's breakout to the left, right? So that trifecta, I call it, is a very good candidate to run into. And this model is beautiful where That's your lower high, and then you're going to make a new lower low. Why? Because of the fact that that's A, that's structure. B, look at the inefficiency in the pink. It didn't get sealed yet, right? Okay, well, before I even get into the detail, this is just so fire. Look at the 50%. Okay, so that's the lower high, and then you get some drives up. We get into there. No bodies in the bottom half, especially the top half is what I really should say. But the bottom half as well. Negative 1.5, inbound, all that shit I just said. Perfect lower high, overbought. It's beautiful. Even the VIX is screaming. Okay, we break here and we come in and then we make another lower low. Okay, so just follow me here. Look at this shit here. So that's lower high. So where's lower low? We come down here. Funky ass price action, very manipulative, right? Hold on. As you can see here, I measured the -1 to the 0. See the last two up candles right there? I measured those candles, wicks included, okay? And where's 3.5 to 4? Right there. You see that? If you're new, you're probably like, oh my God, right? Okay. So that's the understanding there. And then once they're this fuckery here, they think they're gonna try to induce people to sell here, sell there, sell there, sell there, sell there, and then they ram it up. This is their lower low. Could they have went lower? Yes, they could have. That would have been a little bit too obvious and easy to start participating, so they had to ramp it up. And they have to also time to start, which means they don't want to just go in a straight line. They want to fucking waste time and, you know, and so on, right? So anyways, that happens here. This is the lower low. All this bullshit is just time distortion and bullshit. But I'll just draw it like this for this leg here. Right there. And then it makes another low. Okay. Then it literally boners up hard, right? Pushes up. You get your drives up. Okay. Now you get into a lower high here. I'm measuring the swing from the low that it broke to the swing high. And then we busted through. You can see it's 1 and 1.5 in here. Same scenario of what I'm discussing here, but in this case, we're not using an imbalance. What are we using? Whoa. What are we using? We're using these last two up candles consecutive. Once we close, it's a change of delivery. These are supply blocks. These are order blocks. Whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. Point is that in this case, you can see that we're pretty much referencing this area. Why? Because we broke through it, right? And then I'm gonna draw the structure right in here. I could do this all day long. Point is, they're pushing up, right? And by the time you're confident in selling, but you're trying to sell this, try to sell this, and then, but notice, do you see a displacement in any type of candle, right? Like it's premature to just think that this is going to be it right here, right? They want to squeeze more. Could it have? Yeah, but it's just like there's too much time. And by the way, look at the time here. It's 11 o'clock. So London close is now kicking in, and then we're retracing back up to wipe out liquidity. That's time involved. That's part of the session that is making this structure. Retracing back. Now lunch comes in and starts speakering out, trying to take liquidity to the left and the bottom and all that. But in reality, to keep this simple, this is the push up here. You get your little break. There's your little shift here. I'm trying to do it internally, but I'll just skip all this. That's the lower high there. And then when you break that low, right? That's a break here. And then now the leg down is just this a lower low. This is a lower high of this leg now. Lower high from there. Internal low. Internal high. And then now you're getting the way they're doing this is this so far, right? So oh my God. Oh my God. Bro. Are you dude, my mouse is not working. So what the fuck, bro? Are you serious? I don't know. I'm having some. I told you this mouse. There's something wrong. I'm about to throw this against the fucking screen right now. I don't know. Okay, this is very fucking weird. Okay. Are you fucking joking right now? What the fuck was that? I don't know. I'm sorry. I mean, again, you saw that live. You see what I'm saying? I've been dealing with, yo, this shit irks me because, like, I can't be having that while I'm fucking trading, dude. And it's hard to. Anyways, let me go back to this, dude. So, fucking, ugh. So, back to this. So, when we get that drop, there's an imbalance, but that's the 930. You can't count that. So, this is the 930. This is 934. This one's a displacement, so we're using that. And then look, what the fuck, man? And then you could see that this bearish imbalance is going to be laying on that 930. That means we're going to be. What is happening here? What is happening here? Okay, the 930 is going. We're up below it, up below it, up below it, up below it, up, down, up, and so on. So we're constantly getting attracted to it. So you got to be very careful. What did I even click that shit? What the fuck? Oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought, man. I'm afraid to use this thing again because I wanted to explain this. So, well, right here above this little swing, there's a shift, displacement, retracement back into an imbalance, which is that first one. That's an inversion when they tag it and then they push up. So that's a great buy right here, up. And then pushing sell here is very dangerous. And if you did, you need to take profit. But look where it went. Here, before I even do the structure here, just so you people know, and if you're new, this is guaranteed that this is not buyers and sellers. There's no way that we had a gap from November 20th, okay? November 20th and the 24th, okay? And if you quad that gap at 50%, take a look. When 930 shot down, it went right to my gap, right to the 50%. And I've already discussed this. I mean, to the tick. Do you want to prove it to the tick? Let's prove it. Just so you know. Well, here is the, it's a fib, obviously. What are the price levels at that 50%? Ugh. Hard to read it. My goodness, bro. Does everything have to be this complicating? I don't understand, dude. I want to fucking go. 652 even. All right. 652 fucking even. Right. Okay, cool. God, man. You're like, what's wrong, bro? I don't know. My mouse is not working, bro. I'm about to break this bitch through the window. Oh my god. There's my patience fucking right there. I'll tell you. All right. What did I say? 652? Okay, let's look up here. What's the low of this candle here? What's the low there? What's the low right there? 652. Definitely not. You telling me buyers and sellers pushed it all the way to that specific and perfect. We're not talking even off by a tick, and even if it was, it wouldn't matter. You telling me that that's buyers and sellers doing that? I knew, just so you people know, if you're new, I knew this market was manipulated before I even jumped in it. Before I even knew what the market was. Before I knew what a candlestick was. Before I knew what fucking NASDAQ was. And before your favorite guru or anyone who taught on the planet. Yeah, on the planet. Before they even knew that it was manipulated. They found out after. Let me say this again. They found out after studying and trading for years. I knew it was manipulated before I started. Why is that important? Well, hey, we got a bigger conversation in the background then, right? So I came in trying to figure out how it was manipulated. Anyway, let me keep going. So the structure here, you'll see here. So you get your little 3 drives. see if my mouse works. That's second drive, third drive, and then watch this. Break. It breaks that low, and then it retraces up. That's your lower high. And then continues down. Do you see that? I'm not gonna. Oh, you listen to me. That's good. See, I have to yell maybe, and then the mouse works. So, and don't mind me if I'm just frustrated. So no big deal. I'm human. So you see that? So that right there. So you're not trying to push sell here, push sell here, push sell here. Even if you're biased, you know you're right. You want to allow the price to run into an inefficiency, right? In this case, if you look at a 5-minute, excuse me, jeez, right there. That's the one I was using right there. So what do we have here? We have liquidity here for people momentum selling, and we have breakout area and here, and we have imbalance, right? So because the guy here, why is this an imbalance? Why is this an imbalance with a breakout like these guys right here? Because the guy who pushed by here and you know, then it just broke right through. They're gonna mitigate it and give him a chance to get out. Now this right here is not perfect where it connects to this low here or anything, but it's, you know, it's close. You know, it's pretty fucking close. Look at that. Look at that bullshit. Look at that. Look at that. Snaps right to the high of that. This is live right now. 401. That's your lower low, and that's your lower high, most likely. And then they're gonna run. I mean, in general cases, it's a 5-minute too, so I don't know what it's looking like. But anyways, point is, that's what you want to see. This is a model right here. This, if you just waited for this your whole life, every day, you know, gravy. Okay, and what's another model? Right? Because if you're wondering, you know, well, I don't know what to do. Well, you're looking for a model, obviously. And in this case, here's a model where you raid liquidity. You understand maybe the structure, and you're going to come up for easy run here for liquidity, right? Breakout and all the shit that I just got done explaining, right? And then you get this inversion. Once it closes above or is higher, you can push enter. Or in this case, once we break that swing low, it creates an bullish imbalance, and they're X marks the spot they're connecting with each other. That's fine, but the point is that, you know, that's also an entry method. Oh, look at the bodies. Pay attention to the this imbalance, this 934, which is the first one. It's in green. Look where we snap, but we come right back and look where the bodies are. See, these are details that just experience is going to have to teach you, right? And you can't teach that in a book. You can't teach that in a fucking, you know, one video either. Look at that shit. I told you. So what was that? That was that lower high here on that 5-minute. So once we lower high, came in, all this is internal, rammed it, and then they're rushing down. Anyways, we'll see what they do. It doesn't matter. Point is, come on, man. I do not want to make 40-some minute videos, dude. I want to make them 20 minutes, and I can't. And I'm fucking tired, dude. And I have bad health. My energy, like my brain hurts, and I get a headache when I talk too much. I don't know how else I can be real. I have doctor's appointment tomorrow, by the way. I'm gonna just FYI. I won't be doing anything tomorrow. Maybe I'll send a post text wise. But I literally have to go get tests and see what my fate is as far as, you know, do I have COPD or early emphysema? So, you know, it's some crazy shit, man. But anyways, we'll see. So God willing, I hope I'm okay. And I caught it early, maybe. I don't know how it's early. I've been smoking 30 years, but anyways, so that's that signature. These are the things that you need to see and you understand, right? So anyways, you break here on a 15 second. It's pretty nice too, by the way. So we break through, and then I have that measured, and then it's 3.5 to 4. Here, they're trying to get you involved and fucked up. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and all this bullshit. Really, it's just the lower low. Now, right when it's about to break, and I'll be honest with you, this is very rare price action. It is rare, okay? Because first of all, we haven't been down here in a long time. Let me close the door. Oh shit, my wife is definitely home early today. So you'll see that someone's really like married to trying to sell now. They're like, oh yeah, it's selling. It shouldn't be underneath here. And then they rip it up. Yo. And this is why you're like, don't mess with it. And I could have I could have an hour video just on this whole situation. But notice there's no follow through. Notice there's only one candle. Notice there's no closure below this low. And then you get this strong candle. When it goes strong like that, you knew they were fucking around. There you go. There you go. I drew that. I drew the structure while it was live, right? So then you'll see anyways, once you get this kind of candle that breaks finally, and you're like, well, what about here? Well, or here. Well, guess what? They're going to mess you up a couple times before they actually do it. Now, could it have rolled through? Yeah, but that would be like meltdown shit. I mean, it's not really likely because of the fact that, just so you know, selling this is easy. Now, there's an inversion here on the bullish side. I can drag it out. I did not draw that because I did not need it. But I'm going to draw it just so we can make sure we understand each other, okay? And that you could learn something if you're someone new here. You'll see once we break that low, we shouldn't be down here if you're buying. That's step like idea 1. Step 2 or idea 2 is once it closes. Look right here. Look at this 956. Once it closes below, that right there is a sign that we're selling. Well, we already have the structure, so you didn't need to know that. But that's really algorithmic because of the fact that you also have time involved, which is what? It is to 950, and it's already turning into the macro of selling down, right? And you'll see once you come down here, now you don't see any bodies now anymore in the upper half at all, and then you don't see them in the lower half even. So when this 957 pops in, and now this is just retesting that area, it's gone. It's a balanced price range. It's not coming back. It's just not coming back. So I didn't want to have all this. So anyways, back to this. And you're like, well, that's a displacement. That's a shift right there. But that low never broke that low. So that low is above it. So it really has all right to retrace, right? First of all here. And then what they want to do is they understand that people are now, look how they're slithering down with the candles, right? And what they do is they induce people to sell here, and then they make it scary for someone to sell here, and it's making it difficult. So there's two groups of people there. And then what they do is they pretend like this is going to be the sell here, which you're tagging that bottom 50, which is fine, and it's wicking, but they're inducing and they're trying to really sell the idea of selling, right? But we understand we already exhausted. We already passed the gap. We already took last week's low, and we tap in the open of that week, which are very important levels, obviously. So we already finished an agenda with this pink here. So it's suspect. So when I said this is I was sitting back watching, laughing, because I'm not fucking with you people. Period. I'm not. I know what y'all are doing, even though it's enticing, and that's what they do. They try to entice you to sell. But you think this is the displacement, and it is a shift of market structure for the moment. But this is them trying to reel you in. So this is where they got you, all right? And then you come into this bearish imbalance, and you're tagging it, and you're in below that 50%. Notice we're tagging that 50%. So was this a nice sell? You can say, oh, this didn't work. Yeah, it did. It was a bearish imbalance. You tagged it. There's no bodies in the upper half, only in the lower half. Tag that 50 one more time right there, and then it made a new low. It broke that low. Let's not say break. It took out that low. So that worked, didn't it? Is that something I want to be a part of? No, right? But taking out that low, you'd have to take the profit. And look how, as soon as they did that, because they got this pool here of all, and don't forget, now you got the jerks. Not jerks, let me not call them jerks, but the people who are desperate to buy this, okay? They're buying this. As soon as they take them out, now they're like, oh, I'm not buying no more. I'm not buying no more. It's selling. Whoop. That is a framework. That is a logic. That is an understanding. And you just can't teach this. You have to see it over and over and experience it. I knew exactly what they were doing when they did it. So, and then when we get this bullish candle, this candle, when you see it hard like that and it closes like that, that's what you want to see when it's going to buy. Just like these big candles, and look how they close at its high. Big bullish candle, close at its high, close at its high, close at its high, right? You see that? So that language, they're doing that here. And it stays empty. So it's a breakaway imbalance. Okay. And also, this is a measuring gap. This one here. If you're new, you're probably like, dude, what? This high. So the 50% of this fib. See this, the fib I'm using here? So if you there's going to be an imbalance there's going to be an imbalance that stays empty. In this case, it just tags in there, which is fine. But in general, if it'll be the imbalance. If you hover over the 50%, you can guess where the price is going to go. So right there, the 50%, remember the price action hasn't happened yet. Besides that imbalance that's in between that range, you'll see that imbalance, if I put the 50% over that imbalance, I'll look at where the double standard, or the two standard away, which would be the zero here of the fib, right? Because this is one half, this is the other half. So a negative 1 would make sense from that 50%. That's an idea of where the price will go to. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just giving you a general gist. What I just gave you right there is just super fire, right? And then, anyways, that's just a little tidbit. But the point of what I'm saying is that it's not the same idea here, but you want to see this stay empty because it's a breakaway imbalance. That's a measuring imbalance. It's a breakaway imbalance. So, you want to see them empty is the point of the conversation. And you see, yeah, I don't know how to make them short. And then what's it called? Notice that we bounce right off this range here, and then blows right through this inversion, which is, whatever, but we're breaking through that. And then these candles, they stay empty, and then they slither up, just like how they're slithering down here. We're slithering up. It's a language. Look at it. You can see that, and that's what you want to see. So beautiful, pushes up, breaks through that swing high, bounces on the 25%. Yeah, we're still using the gap. Bounce on the 50, bounce on the 25, comes out first, bounce on the 50, bounce on the 25. Then it rushes up to get to these breakout guys here. Retraces back to this. This is a suspension block. There's a gap in between both sides, so that's a high probability imbalance. Retraces. It doesn't. You don't expect that to be the lower high. That's just wishful thinking. They're gonna drag it up, try to squeeze as much as they can out of these guys here. And then look at the trend line. Dude, look at that, bro. Fucking beautiful. So it bounces up here, and then you can see we are now up and down, up and down, up and down from that 930 level. So you can see we same idea when I said that this we took out this low, but there's no follow through or no bodies and no candles closure below it. This is the same idea here. You see this, how we made this high? They came back to swipe this guy right here. See that? Look to the right here. See the right here? They're wicked, but the bodies, there's no follow through. And then they start gapping up. They're trying to rush for this because people are selling it. And now they're trying to induce the idea of if it's really being bullish and, oh, this is a head and shoulder. And no, man, we're sinking. We're bearish. We're leaking. That's leaking. I don't know what to say, but that's, as of now, that's leaking. But so that's what that is. And then it rushes up. Now, when it rushes up, and by the way, when they leave these gaps, that's telling me that we're going to come back down. That's not good for being bullish. That means we're coming back. So, but let them go up. Okay, we got into the area what we talked about. We're in the lower half of that of the opening range gap. And then Why is this now the good sell? Go do the research on VIX. I can't. You'll see that that's the oversold area on the VIX, and this is our overbought area on here. Last high, all these drives. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? You get a displacement candle, and it has a bearish imbalance. See how strong that is? You don't see that anywhere here, right? You think that's it, but that's too early. This tells you right here. All right. Let's move forward here. And then you can see we tap in right there. It's a lower high, right? And we're using that leg to break the first leg to make the low. And then it retraces for the lower high. It's coming back up to wipe out all those guys. And in detail here, you never want to be the guy selling down here. In the bottom 50% of a range, or even in this range, you don't want to be the guy selling in the lower half. Okay, so you get the lower lows and lower highs here, and then now you're desperate. You're trying to catch it. Oh, I've gave enough confirmation. It's came this low, and then they whip it up right here because they know we are the monkey on their back. They cannot get rid of us. They want us on there, but they also can't get rid of us. So it is a double-edged sword for them. So, but they want us to make money so we can pay taxes and buy a house and buy cars and buy a boat and then how else are you going to get the loan? It's a scam, people. The whole thing is a scam. But my point is that they can't shake us. No, they try to shake us, but they can't. There's always someone buying and selling. Anyways, so you notice how we swipe right above here. Why? Because this broke. That was a low. That's a high. They break. 2 drives, push up. Okay? Pushes down, comes right back. We tag the bottom 25%. Perfect. Look at this. Tags it perfectly. Snaps to it. You see it. I watched this. Snapped right to it. And then fucking left. Okay? So that's a lower high, but they want to get everybody in that leg. All right? And what does it do? You think it's going to push? Sinks. Go look at the VIX. Beautiful, beautiful oversold here. And then we sold off. And we were overbought here and we sold off. Came down, internal. Why didn't they break this low? Because now the guy's selling here and they know it's selling here. They're holding the bag so they push all the way back up to get where? That's a break. See that imbalance? See that candle? It's a displacement candle, right? Notice how we came to it. That's where you want it. That's what we're doing here. This is exactly what we're doing here. Okay, that's exactly what we're doing here, but this is using the blocks. That's exactly what we're doing here when we sold here. That's exactly what we're doing here when we sold here. This is exactly what we're doing if I was to mark this and you sold here. Anyways, up, down, right? You don't know which way it's going. Finally leaves in the power hour. And macro kicks in for the 315. And then hunting this liquidity. And their whole goal was to get to this guy. Remember this guy? Remember this guy that had the big boner fucking candle? They came back to him finally. So they didn't do it here. Look at the 15-minute real quick. You see how they didn't do it here? So this is a breakout area right there too, right? See that little swing? Look to the right. Notice how we're digging in, but we're not touching that level. That's for people like me. Why? Because I know that they're gonna come for this level because we broke right through it and we bounced on it. It's too easy. That was too easy. So guess what? They come and they get it here. See this? And they come underneath here for good measure, right? All right. And then the whole time they're like, oh man, they left this guy alone. Or if he's still holding, he's buying. Oh, I'm still good. And then they finally rush for your ass. You can't make this up, buddy. Low, lower high. See that? Forget the internal. Oh, look what they did. They tagged that. They come outside the gap by a hair. Look at this guy right here. Displacement candle underneath. Liquidity. This whole framework here is exactly what's going on right there. Same framework. Liquidity, imbalance, breakout area. Boom. Came right to that bitch. Using the gap. And now we're about to fucking sink. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Doing this after hour. Man, fuck you, motherfuckers. Anyways, -1 there. And then, like I said, you can quad even that wick. You can see. Remember, I talked about that low. Well, you'll remember this. I mean, you'll see. Here's the negative. Oh, we're hitting it. We're gonna hit it now, even. And this is just fire, bro. I don't know what else I could tell you. Oh, by the way, 1 hour imbalance right there. Beautiful. We already did that there. See that? Look at the different time frames, right? And fuck me, I talked way too much. 40 minutes. Here's the fix. Again, that's why I need to have it on the other screen. If you go take a look and you test it, you'll see. This is where when we sold, when we pushed. Okay, when we shot down at 9:30 and hit that 50% level, that was right here, literally on that low. No. I'm sorry. It was when we pushed up right here, and then remember we pushed all the way up into the opening range gap. That's the low. And when we pushed up, that was the high. And then what did we do when we were up there in the opening range gap? We sold down all the way to that inefficiency, right? And that's this. We reversed. We were on an oversold here, and we were on an overbought. And we sold in the opening range gap. This pushed up, and we pushed all the way down to the inefficiency. The inefficiency was now around here, and then we reversed. You see how it starts to gap and leak? Now we were doing that. Remember the boner candle that pushed up and bought? Well, this is selling while we're buying, and so on. Just fucking fire, bro. And then you can see dollar is pushing up. This is helping with the understanding of us selling. I'm not even going to go into that. We had lower highs here. That's a divergence with NAS, and then we had lower highs here, divergence with Dow, and then another one with Dow here, and we've been selling off. Look at Dow coming right back in, fucking bogus as hell. The fake push up, right? This is that's why I was leaning to the bearish side. The fake push up, trying to really think that it's gonna push up, and then now they just broke it. This is a break of structure, in my opinion. And if they break this is really a break. I really think that we're coming down, dude. I mean, just all signs point to it. Look at this bullshit. You want to be a part of this? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's like, okay, bro, where are we going, right? Fuck Dow. All right, lower low, lower high. Now I made another lower low. All right, so that's fine. Then it looks smooth. Look at S&P. Bad news, buddy. The other bitch look it's about to sink. Remember, I talked some videos ago. I talked about this breakout area, this liquidity, and then I'm going to show you on the higher time frame. You'll see what they do. They dumped, and then it's a shakeout. So it's a speaker here. Not as pretty as Nasdaq, but stayed in the lower half. All right, and then if this is an eighth, you'll see that they tag that guy real quick, and then when they break, structure's already coming down. Same idea for there, but remember, bottom 25%, they can't even get any higher. So, and then what's it called? And then I was talking about, what was I talking about? Oh, here. No. Yeah, this is current time. Didn't I throw a measurement on this? I swear I threw a measurement on this, didn't I? There it is. Yeah. Okay. So I measured these up consecutive candles. I could do the bodies even, which might be kind of nice. Let me see. Why is that? Because this is the last kind of pretty much up move here. And then -1 and 1.5. I mean, dude, it looks like we're going right for it, bro. So, and then -2 is matching this area. This is a breakout area here. Very simple, like what I was talking about with Bitcoin yesterday. These equal lows here. And then right here, this is a breakout area here. See this breakout area? Boom. And we came and we bounced on it. I don't see why they wouldn't come and attack that guy. But you'll see that this is, you're going to want to study this leg now here. Even study 22. I would study 22, and I would backtest also 25. That would be, it would make real sense here. So again, we're not gonna just run right to it, but if I look at the seasonal data, it's like, to be honest with you, we would have to really push up. I can't make this video any longer, bro. I can't. I'm telling you, man, people could be charging thousands for this. Thousands. Again, if it's the fuck me. If it's the 5 year, if it's the 5 year seasonal data, then it's just gonna linger and keep doing this until about the 8th. All right, don't hold me to what I'm drawing. I'm literally just talking here. To the 8th, it could take out that low to the left or not. I don't care. But then it'll do this, right? And that would be the 5 year, because the 5 year is the only one that looks like this. All right, and then the 5 and the 30 and the 15 year. Let's just say, and this is, to me, this is way overextended to be the 15 or the 30 year. But if it is, then we are going to turn around soon, because it shows that we start buying on the 5th. Today's the 5th, right? So we've been coming down, 5th, 6th, whatever. So now you're going to want to see, again, very similar to what I drew with the 5. And you're like, dude, well, what's the difference? The difference is that the 15 and the 30 year are happening. They're buying soon. And the 5 year is happening later, towards more the 10th. So we have NFP tomorrow. That might want to push down and rocket back up. Because what? We got easy sellers here now, dude. I mean, come on. Maybe get into... they don't do it here, though. But, because I drew it here? Is that why? Anyways, this on the daily, bottom left, you see that imbalance? I'm going to draw it. They might want to come back into there first before, if we roll over. And if we're... So this is what I'm giving you, is the normal bullish understanding, right? So we want to see higher highs and higher lows come back up, and it literally make an all-time high. Okay? If we don't do that, and if we don't do this, we're bearish. It's a different scenario, and you got to go reference 25, and you got to go reference 22. Period. Nothing else I can say there. And obviously the big elephant in the room, also coming down, dude. So, what are you gonna say to that? I like coming back to this area here. Again, this was early. We broke through it. Remember, we talked about when we were down here making videos. I told us coming up here. I talked about that shit. We did that. We double topped and came right back and I said while we were whipping back up and down, that was not good and we were gonna end up selling off most likely. And this looks like this is it. So this would make sense here as a breakout area, and the cycle continues, right? So we're in another cycle of we're coming back down, man. So that was also, you're looking for sells, man. You're looking for sells, and you're not trying to hold the buys all the way up. You want to get into a nice range of eating people who are selling and so on. I'm missing something, but I think I did a good job of it, saying everything. I'm gonna delete this because that's not a gap. That's the efficiency, what's left. So this, now that we did that, this is the gap. So again, selling from the 50%, 25, and we're on our way down. I've already discussed some of the targets below. Fuck, is there anything else? You guys take care. God bless.